What is love? Both ways.
Love is the essence of everything, of who I am, who you are, and the relationships in between. And I think that every thing that we see or create and destroy are just refractions of love. And that the sort of pain and suffering that many of us feel is because we have like an expectation of what form that love should take. And I think this whole process of living is coming to the realization that it is all love. The thing that comes to me first about when I've been hurt is about when I've been misunderstood. I think when I was a child, I lived in my own reality and I couldn't express or communicate to others all the sensations that I was feeling. And it would perhaps surprise me or shock me when people would interpret what I was expressing or what I was meaning so differently than the intention behind it. And that really got me focused on this understanding, on this I remember in middle school telling my parents that all suffering comes from misunderstanding. That when you truly understand someone, you can't help but love them. Or at the very least, tolerate them. So I think I made a big focus on my life on understanding people, on listening to people, making sure that they felt heard, because I saw the pain that I felt, or I remember the pain that I felt when I was misunderstood. And it's interesting because even now, I feel like there's still like body memory in me of like when I think I'm being misunderstood, my system kind of withdraws a little bit. And it's fascinating for me to watch it to happen now because I don't feel that way, but there's still some like bodily trauma in me that creates that pattern. And the beautiful thing is that every time I keep observing it, it lessens. And slowly that grip of that pattern from my past is starting to disintegrate and sort of melt away. And it gives me this sense of freedom that then I can be and ideally inspire those around me and those who I interact with to be as well. Because I know that if I fully feel and be myself, I can offer that space to others. And this whole original kind of thorn that started my path of like being misunderstood or being worried or feeling pain from being misunderstood comes from giving myself permission to be myself. We all live in our own little world, but that doesn't mean that you're alone. The whole journey of life comes from stepping out of our comfort zone, comes from stepping out of our little world that we've created for ourselves and connecting to someone else. And so for all those people who may feel that no one understands them, or that they live in a world that no one can see them, it's not true. And I would encourage everyone to play. Play make-believe. With your mind, you can go into any world, into any place, and that there's freedom with just being a human being because of this amazing power that everyone has with the imagination. When I was a kid, I would travel to the bottom of the ocean, I would go to Mars, I would travel to Mount Olympus, I would go back in time and play with the dinosaurs, I would go into the future and see the new technologies, and I did that every day. Every day I found a new world to kind of explore and play in and understand all different types of realities and peoples and cities and civilizations. And all those travels made me realize that no matter what world I lived in, at the core, we were all going through the same experience. And it didn't matter how wealthy or how scared or how strong or whatever the reality that I was in, that I knew that that fundamental search for love was there in all the worlds. And that was a way that I could connect to anyone. Anywhere, anytime. And then I knew I was home. It's an interesting question, because I don't think I've said this out loud because of where I live in the time and space I exist in. Because the truth is that I love God, and that's not really cool these days to really talk about it without it having some sort of religious connotation or dogmatic program or a lot of judgments around it. And even for me to get to the point to say that has only been in the last maybe year or two. I think I always used words like, oh, I'm connected to the universe, or like there's the energy, or like I tried to use all these words as euphemisms because of the way God has so much divisiveness because of the judgments and the forms and the way in which it's all perceived. And it took me a long time to get to this understanding that my definition of God is beyond all those things. And I have to be okay with the fact, because it has a very unique and personal meaning for me. And so, although it has all this misunderstanding around it, which is exactly what we're talking about, I think it's a process for me to just stay in that communication and then that dialogue with whoever I'm speaking to. Because ultimately, I do find it's always God.
Do you have anything you'd like to share?
I would like to say that it's this feeling of giving space for people to play, to be who they want to be, to discover the gifts and obstacles that they are facing with currently. That was the inspiration behind this whole Leela project. It was to give people a way that they could all come together and learn about themselves through each other. Because that process will unite all of us. It will connect us and allow us to harmonize all the diversity that we see. And in this day and age, I think that's crucial. And it's something that allowed me to take the pain and the suffering that I have gone through and, as an artist, transform it into something beautiful. And that's something I think everyone can do. I think everyone is an artist, and everyone has the capacity to transform their pain into beauty. And then we can all learn from each other's treasure and the wisdom that we each have within us.